Well, I was out on the road grader working yesterday, and I got a call from my sister-in-law. She was at an auction sale, and she said there was a bunch of stoves there. And I've kind of been looking for another one, and this had, like I asked her first thing, does it have the water reservoir on it? It does. Good copper water reservoir. It's a brand I'm not familiar with. Quick Meal. But pretty good stove. Actually in pretty good shape. I've got the guts all out of it, and there's a few things that I'll have to repair, like on this grate. There's a crack in that bracket there, but I've got some nickel rod, and I can weld that up. There's a few other little things, but the whole firebox assembly, all the bricks and everything are there, and they're all in pretty good shape. So basically it is in pretty good shape. The man, evidently Quick Meal wasn't quick enough, because you can say that he has run it, extremely hot, which, people tend to do. He was an old Swede, and I think he must have been kind of cold. But it's got some of the features I like. Well, you won't be able to see it from there, but it's got the draft control door is down on the side here, instead of some of them, they'll be inside here. And I also like that it's got, instead of having to lift the lids to add wood or coal, because they'll burn either, there's the door on the side that you can dump it right in. That's a nice feature. Yeah, got a good big cooking surface, and it actually came with the tools. It even says Quick Meal right on it. But like I say, I was out on the grader, so it was kind of a sight unseen deal. But I figured, okay, the guy had I think 3 of these, and I came to the sale after I got off work. It was still going on. Actually, it's good in a way that I wasn't there earlier, because I would have spent a lot of money. It was like the 3rd generation of Swedes who lived on that farm, and they had a collection of stuff, the likes of which you will not see again. This guy had been hoarding up stuff for so long, and a lot of it came from Sweden. It was interesting. Stuff wasn't going cheap, but on a sale like that one, like I say, you won't see a sale like that again for a long time. So, there was stuff there. But, what I told her on the phone then was, I said, well, if it's in decent shape, 200 to 300, because that's kind of the going rate. Well, she got it for 2, which is great. When I look it over now and I see that it's all there and really in pretty decent shape. Like I say, here's another little crack on a part for the firebox, but there again, it's easy enough to weld with nickel rod. So no biggie. Looks like a decent stove, and I'm glad to have the hot water reservoir. And it's pretty well designed. I don't know if people are familiar. Normally, okay, the firebox is here. All this stuff is in here, and the heat goes here. And when you start it up, the heat will go right. The smoke and stuff goes right out the chimney, right out the back. But then after you get it going, you pull this button here, close the flap in the back, and that makes it so that the heat has to travel all the way down, across this, alongside the hot water reservoir, then come down underneath, and then exit the back, and that's what heats up the oven. If you don't have that flipped, the oven won't heat up. If you try to bake bread or something, it'll burn on the one on the top, on the side. It won't. It's got to be able to circulate all the way around. And I see a good design that you'll see on these is they've got a. If I can get this this open. There's a clean out under here that you can pull, because it will carry ash and stuff around, you know, so you got to be able to pull the ash out from the underneath. But it's got a good setup there. You know, and it's in pretty good shape. The enamel isn't rusted or anything. So there's like one little ding up there that I imagine they got trying to move it out of the house, but basically in pretty good shape. But I'm glad to see, you know, that all the firebox stuff is here, because, you know, you can wreck these, you know, warp these bricks that actually line the firebox, that are cast iron heavy things, but I've seen them go bad. So just those two crack pieces and the grates themselves, you know, there's two of these, and these are in good shape, and I've seen these completely destroyed too. So all in all, not a bad deal. So I'll have to get these two parts repaired and pick up a bunch of stove bolts, because I saw, like, this is the part that goes on the back, and then that chimney piece slides in. Well, they cut the bolts to take it apart, because I'm sure it hadn't been apart for a long time. So I'll have to replace those stove bolts, but it'll give me a chance to go around and all these places where it seals, put some high temperature silicone in there to really seal it up. But I know, you know, one thing, like I say about this oven, you know, if somebody gets one of these, if you try to light it, you can't get it to go. If that oven is on, you'll never get enough draft to get the stove started. You know, you got to start it with that, so the smoke is going directly up, and once you get a draft going, then you pull it, then it does the switch to heat the oven up. But I imagine there's people who fought with that. But nice stove. I could do some serious cooking in this baby. But I like to see the reservoir. And I do like to see this for adding the wood in, you know, because it is a nuisance if you have to lift the lid each time. So that's a project for the future. I like it.